All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be talking NBA in this one. If you're looking for some NFL plays, I did post a video on that earlier, so go check those out. A lot of good stacking opportunities in some games that really matter today. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. But we're going to be talking strictly NBA in this one. I got five or so plays to talk about, and I'm really liking them, even though it's only a 4-game slate. And then yesterday, tough spot, got to take it on the chin. I said in my Discord, but the first 9 games that finished had a point differential average of 21 points. So it was blowout city. And it's kind of that time of year. It gets a little bit more unpredictable as, either teams are really in stride and clicking, and other teams are, trying to figure out their rotations and can slip pretty easily. So it's a difficult part of the season, but just, got to take the punches as they come and roll with it. But I'm going to be transparent every single time. When these picks are bad, when these picks are good, I'm going to show them and kind of explain, what happened. These were the Discord picks that I first put in the Discord. Not good. 2 for 3. These were all bumped, so I had to pivot for the video picks. And oh boy, uh, Jaylen Brown was the only one that didn't have blowout, implications here. 5.5 first quarter points. He's been crushing this line. He had a bunch of opportunities to get this as well. Played like 10 minutes in that first quarter. Blew a bunny, a little layup. Wide open 3, maybe 2 wide open threes, but unfortunate one there. That just didn't roll our way. But then Sadiq Bey, Clint Capella, Derek White, all absolute blowouts there. Harden and the Clippers, this one was a blowout too, but he should have got there. Maybe just a bad read on this one altogether. But yeah, reverse sweep. And again, just got to take it on the chin. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not putting half of my bankroll. You got to do a lot of bankroll management. You can't put half your bankroll in on one day or on one slip, or else you're going to burn out pretty quickly. I'm okay doing, 1%, 2% of my bankroll. And if I have a day like this, it doesn't hurt too bad. So looking quickly at the 4 games we got today, Boston, Indiana is kind of the smash spot for me. It's the biggest spread, or not spread, over under 248.0. These guys have put up like a lot of points. They've split the season series, Boston winning one, Indiana winning one. So I think there's a lot of good spots for some Boston overs, just because, sometimes Boston crushed these guys one time, and it was a 10-point game for Indiana winning the other time. So tough to trust the Indiana guys just against a good defense in Boston. But in terms of Boston, a lot of these overs are looking pretty solid today. For the Knicks and Wizards, great spot for some Wizards unders. 10-point spread, 9-point spread. And when these guys matched up early in the year, the Knicks crushed them. The Wizards have been absolutely horrible. Definitely some solid value on the unders for these guys. And it's tough to do, unders on the Knicks in this spot just because the Wizards are trash. And if this somehow does stay close, it should be probably a higher scoring game, which would mean one of these guys is going to do pretty solid on the Knicks. Utah and Philadelphia not getting any lines just yet. Looks like some game time decisions still have to be figured out for that one to get lines up. And then Houston, Milwaukee should probably be maybe one of these two games are the best games, I'd say, of the day, just in terms of watching. But this is kind of a normal slate you can attack that you typically would. 6.5-point spread, 237.5. Houston's defense is really good. Milwaukee gives up a lot of points, so you could definitely attack it kind of normally. But again, tough defense against Houston, so maybe Giannis is unders. Chris Middleton's going to get a full allotment of minutes just because he rested the second half against the Spurs. So potentially Giannis under is a way to do this. But again, he's kind of been rolling. So that's the 4 games. But yeah, let's go in and attack the board on PrizePicks. So really going to be looking at 2 teams specifically in this one. Again, we talked about Boston potentially having some great over upside, and then the Wizards having some solid under ups or downside upside. I don't know how you'd say that. But yeah, really going to be attacking the Celtics and the Wizards. But let's just jump right into it. The guys that have been very consistent, especially in this matchup so far this year, is going to be Tatum. I'm going to be going to his 36.5 points and rebounds going to be going over here. And it's going to be Derek White. Now, I don't maybe recommend throwing them in the same slip. You totally could because they've both hit this in the game so far against Indiana. And also, Derek White looks like he got bumped. So 19.5 is where I saw it and where I was researching. I got it in earlier. I knew this was going to bump, though, so this is fine to talk about it like this. But yeah, 19.5 is looking really good. 20.5, that's all right. The odds aren't going to love it as much. But really liking these guys. Again, the consistency with them against the Pacers has been solid. We can take a look real quickly at their matchup earlier in the year. I'm showing it on over on just on Google or the box score because we saw a game without Porzingis, which was a loss for the Celtics, a 10-point loss. But we saw Tatum go for 32 and 12, and we saw Derek White go for 18 and 4. And then earlier in the year, when the Celtics did have Porzingis, they absolutely crushed the Pacers. So just something to think about there. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout or anything like that, but the Celtics definitely have the edge today. And it's tougher to go for the Pacers over if you have this as kind of a data point to look at. But in that game with Porzingis, without Porzingis, Tatum pretty much the same stat line, 30 and 12, and then Derek White pretty much the same stat line as well, 18 and 3. So these guys are definitely the consistent guys in this matchup, and I think it's a great spot for their overs today. So yeah, maybe don't run them out together, but they're looking really good. Let's go over to Outlier, kind of check out what they've been doing so far this year. This is Derek White's at 20.5, which is at the boost. Minus 105 is what they're showing on sportsbooks. That's pretty consensus. So maybe a better one to run out on Sleeper, on Chalkboard, or something like that. Also, if you guys aren't in Chalkboard, Sleeper, any of those other apps, Underdog, I highly recommend being able to do that just because if this bump happens, maybe you can go get some better value if you still like the bet on Sleeper or on Chalkboard, which pay you out in terms of the bet rather than the fixed prices. And then for PrizePicks and Underdog, if you're not on those, hit my link in the description, use my code, you get a 100% deposit match. But you can get fixed odds and you can attack value on these fixed odds. So it's good to have all of them. Check out my links. And again, Sleeper's doing a $500 deposit match right now. So if you want to do that, go ahead and hit those. But yeah, Derek White looking really good. 52% of the year. But you see a lot of green lately. Again, he's kind of having that playoff push, or not playoff push, all-star push. It'd be awesome if he got in there. He's having a crazy year offensively and defensively, and a guy that was really underrated coming into this year. And he's been killing it. 6 of the last 10 games, he's gone over this. These 2 games that he missed this line were blowouts. Not sure about these 2. Looks like this was a blowout again. That's what happens with Boston. They blow teams out a lot, which is tough. But in terms of the games that he's getting, his normal allotted minutes, he should be crushing this line. And again, All-Star break is, I don't know, a month away or so. So he should continue trying to get his shots up. And he's been looking really good. So Derek White in this spot, I think you could pivot to fantasy score. I think you could pivot to his points rebounds and assist lines also looking good. I just think it's an overall good day for Derek White. And then for Tatum, or I guess we should probably look at his head-to-head. That's what we wanted to be looking at in the first place. Points and rebounds, let's pull that line back up. Head-to-head, 3 of 5, but the 2 games this year, those are the 2 ones that matter. And again, like we said, he went over that. So solid spot for Derek White. Let's look at Tatum, though. Points and rebounds. If I can find it. We'll just open up his page. We'll find it in there. Points and rebounds right here. So I don't know why it's popping up at 40 or 35 and a half. It's weird. But whatever. We're at 36 and a half. Just keep that in mind. 50% of the last 10 games. But again, this was 36 and a half. This one, he'd be a hit for us. But it hasn't been the best is what I wanted to look at. But again, I just really like the matchup, the consistency he's had against this team, and the potential for a nice high-scoring game. And Tatum's coming off some rest. These guys didn't play half the third quarter, all of the fourth quarter. So it could be a great spot for him. Is Jaylen Brown going to come in and score 40? It can happen. But I like the chances and the consistency from Tatum a little bit better, especially against this team. So this is the head-to-head matchups. Again, we saw him go for 32 and 12 and 30 and 12 against these guys early in their year. And the odds are liking this one as well. We can go to Odds Jam right over here. We see Tatum's line at, looks like his 2.5 3-pointer line. I don't mind that at all if I think he's going to have a good offensive game. And that one's, the odds are really liking at 53.39%. So that's always a good spot for him here. That's probably something I'll run out a little bit later. But our points and rebounds line at 36.5. Odds Jam giving it a 52.45% chance to hit. So that looking really good. Looks like FanDuel's got this at 37.5. Everyone else is around minus 135 value. So definitely a solid spot for Tatum. Sorry, my laptop just died there if you see a weird transition. But yeah, Tatum and White, I think they're in great spots for their over today. So those are our 2 overs for the Celtics. Let's go to our unders for the Wizards. We're going to be rolling with Jordan Poole. I'm going to go to his 22.5 PRA. His points and assist line was at 20.5. So if you got that in, that was definitely solid. But I don't mind his 22.5 PRA going up against the Knicks, who blew these guys out last time. And the other guy we're going to be talking about is going to be Kuzma. His rebounds line, so they bumped that as well. So it looks like they bumped all these lines that I was talking about earlier. But that's okay. These lines move quickly. I wouldn't touch this at 5.5, but it was looking really good at 6 for the under. But that's okay. We'll look at Jordan Poole's 22.5 while we got him up here. Honestly, while I'm at it, I was looking at a lot of lines got bumped as I was kind of looking at them today. But Giannis's 6.5 assist line, that's not there anymore. 6.0. That was definitely a solid one against Houston. Again, tough defense. Even though he's been crushing that line, it looked really good, and the odds were really liking it. And then Miles Turner under 7.5 rebounds against Boston. This one was really looking good. Honestly, almost don't mind playing this one that much either. I think against Boston last time, I guess we can check really quick. But for the Pacers, looks like he had 10 boards in that one. So not the best in the world, but again, that's one game. And for the Pacers here, he had 5 boards. So definitely not a bad spot for Turner, but I loved it at 7.5. Once that got bumped, I'll probably, pass on that one. But Jordan Poole at 22.5 points, rebounds, assists. He's coming off a 2-point game. As you can see right here, literally 2 points, 1 rebound as they got blown out by the Cleveland Cavaliers. These guys get blown out all the time. So yes, can Jordan Poole get hot at the wrong time and kind of screw us over here? It's possible, but the Knicks have a great defense. They just got OG Anunoby to even bolster that defense a little bit more. So I like this spot. In the head-to-head matchup, they had each other once this year. That was on November 17th. Jordan Poole only had 8 points, 4 assists, and 1 board. So very, very much under there. And I like this spot. Again, I don't know if his leash is getting shorter, but his minutes are kind of down. He's only getting about 24-ish minutes a game. Is that due to blowouts? Probably. But again, we could see another blowout today. So I like the under on Jordan Poole. I like the under on a lot of Wizards players. But he's the guy that I'm going with. Again, this might be a better slip on something like Sleeper or Chalkboard because they pay you out based on what you're betting. It's not just the fixed odds. In this one, if it's at minus 110, look at these other sports books, minus 117, minus 125. It's not the worst in the world to take on PrizePicks at all. But if you get some great value on Sleeper or Chalkboard, definitely go ahead and do that. Links in the description for any of those, Chalkboard, Sleeper. They're all deposit matches. And just let them know that I sent you there. But yeah, those are our 3 plays. Let's go to RotoWire real quick and look at Poole. Looks like I already popped them up here. PRA, 22.5. They're on the under. They're projecting 22.06. We saw the hit rate's been absolutely crazy for us. Looks like the sportsbooks got him around a 50-50 shot, so nothing too crazy there. But yeah, this 19.5 points assist line, when that was at 20.5, that's probably the way I would have done it. But after that bump, I'm pivoting. So yeah, that's our 3 picks. Again, only 4 games, so not going to go too crazy. But I really like this spot for the 2 Celtics that we went over, and then the Poole under with some blowout potential in our favor would be really nice. So maybe don't do a 3-man. I don't love doing 3-mans. Again, you can go ahead and look at my NFL video that I popped out earlier today. So give that some love. Definitely some great stacking opportunities that you could add to this slip if you wanted to. But again, it's all ultimately your decision if you want to pick and choose your favorite lines from these videos. That's why I give them out. But yeah, 3 picks for us. Jason Tatum over 36.5 points and rebounds. Derek White over 20.5 points and rebounds. Look at his fantasy score as well. But wouldn't run these guys out in the same slip just because there's not too much correlation, but really love them each in separate ones. And then Jordan Poole under 22.5 PRA. But yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys. Hit my links in the description if you want to for free trials and any of the tools I was using, or if you want to get on Sleeper and Chalkboard or Underdog and attack some separate value over there. I think it's very beneficial to have multiple books, and you can get deposit matches using my links. But that will do it. Hopefully we have some good games today. This Pacers-Boston game hopefully is a good one, not too much of a blowout. And then the later game, which is the Houston versus Bucks game, Houston Rockets versus the Milwaukee Bucks. That should be a fun one as well. But there's a ton of sports. We got football going on, basketball, hockey, everything pretty much happening. So it should be a good day, and that will do it. Peace out.